Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our weekly women's volleyball press conference. We will start the press conference with an opening statement from head coach Tyler Hildebrand. Then we'll open it up to questions for coach from the media.
Thanks, Lindy. Yeah, it was a good trip to Hawaii overall in terms of, we got there. Our hotel was great. We got to prepare, I think, really well for a good team. It was a good crowd, and obviously we lost 3-0, but I thought the match was a lot closer than that. If we would have won the first set, which we had some chances, maybe we would have changed some things in the match. And what I mean by good trip and we played well is that, we got beat pretty. It was the worst that we'd been beat in the serve and pass game all year. And we got beat in the serving game and the passing game by wide margins. And if that's the case, it's going to be really hard to win the match. If you're close in those, then a lot of other things come together or become a factor. But so I was really proud of how we played in every other area because, we had obviously chances in the first and we're back and forth in the second and third. And a lot of that was because of our effort and our cover, and we stayed together. And we did a lot of good things blocking. I think we outblocked them 13-6 or 12-6 or something like that. And our defense was really good. So that kept us in the match while, we were kind of off the net all night, and they had 5 aces and 1 air, which is pretty legit. So, hats off to them. They have a great staff, as I said, and, they have a great team. And, we really thought going to that match, we had a lot of confidence to win. And, but, they were the better team that night.
Coach, after the first set, it was a good set, very close, and it went to extra play. How much of it maybe did the crowd that comes in sometimes late to Hawaii games, like it started to fill up as the match went on? Did you feel like that affected your team's play as the match went on as well?
I'm not sure, I'm pretty focused on what's going on, not so much the crowd, and, used to being in arenas with big crowds, and it's certainly loud. I lost my voice a little bit. But as I said a bunch of times, that's a great crowd to play in front of, and they're super respectful, and they cheer on good volleyball. So it's always a special place to play because of those things. I didn't notice that it got filled up, but I know it happens there, that people come in a little late and then it starts getting filled up. But, ultimately, like I said, I think, in serving and passing. And, unfortunately, we've been winning that battle. We almost always win the passing battle. So, we gotta tighten that up this week, and that's one of our main focuses this week is to be who we are passing again. So we're gonna grind on it. We're not gonna do anything differently. Just give it a mental focus for the week, because we're definitely gonna need to outpass our opponents this weekend.
With Cal Poly also losing this weekend to a very good opponent that you will be facing this weekend in UC Santa Barbara, you're still in third there. How much more important would you say this weekend would be against CSUN and UC Santa Barbara?
Well, I feel like we've said this a few times, but since the first couple of weeks, our back's been against the wall anyway. So every week feels like not must wins, but it feels like, hey, we got to play our best, and we got to keep trying to win games. And so, like I said last week, we've given ourselves a chance by winning 9 in a row to have these matches really matter, which I think is really cool. And luckily they still matter. We're, as far as winning the conference, that's going to be a little bit more challenging at this point. Certainly winning it outright. Maybe there's a chance to tie, which I think is, there's a possibility of that maybe. But there's always an at-large, and it's not like we only get one out of this conference. So we've had, I think, 3 in 2019. We had 2 a bunch of times, and we played a really strong preseason schedule, and our RPI has tripled. So I think that's a big deal. But we have to go into these next 6 matches, and we're probably going to have to play our best volleyball and see if we can have a shot at making a bid to the committee. I think we have that if we can win matches. But so I don't know. It's more important than the other weeks. I feel like every week since the first. I mean, every week is really important. So, but our focus is on getting a little bit better, learning from the loss and learning from last week, and trying to get 2 wins this weekend. We know how important it is.
What was the feeling in the locker room or amongst the team as you were traveling back after, even though they played well, getting swept by Hawaii? Is there a little bit of a loss in confidence, or is it because, hey, it was a great 9-game winning streak as well?
I don't know if it was either of those specifically. There was a lot of disappointment, not necessarily because of how we played, but because we had been building momentum. We had been really fighting to get a lot of good wins and have played good volleyball. And we had a lot of confidence that we thought we were going to be able to, get in a good fight with that team and win that match. I felt it. Our staff felt it. Our players definitely felt it. And so it was disappointing it was more sad, and disappointing that we weren't able to, we'd all love to go play that match again and see if we could do it better. But there certainly wasn't any like, hey, we won 9 in a row, it's okay to lose one. That we didn't feel that way. But I wrote on the board. We don't talk for very long after matches, but we talked for about 3 or 4 minutes, and I just went in. I wrote on the board. We're playing for a lot, and I don't want them to leave there thinking like, okay, now if you do the math, winning conference outright or whatever is looking harder, obviously. Even if we win the rest of our matches, but we have a lot to play for. Like I said, due to our preseason schedule and the teams we've beaten, and I think where we were last year, the year before, where we are now, I think we hope the committee can look at all that and see improvement. So we have a lot to play for to try to make a good pitch for one. You never know what can happen in the last 6 matches in conference. So that's not a mathematical impossibility to win conference, but 2, to really put in a good pitch for a bid.
And this is a team that always tries to serve hard and try to put pressure on the opposing passing line. Natalie Glenn came out with a jump serve, just kept trying over and over. Is that something you're looking for from her moving forward as well?
Yeah, Natalie has a great jump serve. She's had a great jump serve her whole life. When I was recruiting her at Nebraska, and she was, in 9th grade, she was jump serving, I think, and in the video that we got from practice when she was, in the portal from Minnesota, she's jump serving. She jump served against Florida last year in one of their first matches of the season at Minnesota. She's got a great arm. She's got a lot of heat, and it's a lefty. So obviously, probably the best server in our conference. Dvorak has that lefty jump serve. So she hits it great. It wasn't her best serving night, but I mean, she's hasn't played a whole lot of volleyball jump serving. It's been a long time. So I think she played 1 match against last year, and that's really only her 2nd match jump serving. So 3 matches in 2 years is not very much. So we have a lot of faith in her and her talent and her ability to score points. And so she got an ace, I think, at 21-22 or something in the first. So it's a weapon that we want to develop, and we want her to feel confident in. We have her back, and so yeah, she'll be jump serving.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.